aside from like the standard things that I want and that you should want in life, which is just like the health and happiness of your friends and family.
Yeah.
there's there's not many things I want more in life than a Bryce Young bounce back.
Panther people, what up? Training camp is finally here. I can smell the season. How are the Panthers shaping up? We're going to talk to a guy who was at practice the last couple of days. What's going on? You watch Panthers Sports with Phil Perkins. Thanks for joining us. We're talking about practice, but this is not voluntary practice or mandatory practice, whatever it is. Guys in shorts and t-shirts. We got guys in pads. We got a cooling trailer. We got sweat. We got guys getting injured. We got guys getting cut eventually. We got guys getting picked up for jobs. We got guys fighting for jobs. It's here. The season is right around the corner. Bryce Young, first of all, happy birthday, my guy. 23 years young in the state that created Michael Jordan. I'm obviously not there. I'm still here in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, a 16-hour drive to Charlotte, North Carolina. So I'm not there right now. So the best thing I can do is obviously scroll on the Twitter machine, scroll on Instagram, go on the TikTok, watch the likes of Joseph Person, Michael K, Sheena Quick, Vashti, and then all my guys. PNP is there. I know that for a fact. C3, haven't spoken to those guys on the show before, but I'm following their stuff. Ricky, haven't been on his show yet, but I know he's there. And then Ben from the Keep Purring podcast. I know he is in the grandstands. I don't know if he's in VIP. I'm going to figure that out. All those guys and gals are there. So I'm at the mercy of the information that they are putting on the socials, and I'm going to talk to them. One of those guys, Ben, who's been very nice for me to be on his show. He's been on our show. You know, he's a great dude. He is, again, part of the growing number of Carolina Panthers content creators, a group that, if you're not a Panthers fan, you got to give us some respect. I mean, we're a young franchise comparably to other ones, maybe not the Houston Texans, but a team that has been down in the dumps for almost half a decade now, and for some reason, we're all basically volunteering, to talk about this team exclusively. So what was that like? What was it like in Charlotte? Like, what are the vibes like? What did you feel like you're entering like a NFL training camp?
Yeah, absolutely. The vibes were fantastic. Today was Bryce's birthday, so
that's why I'm wearing his jersey. I was gonna save jerseys for game days, but like it's his birthday.
Yeah.
You know, the guy's been getting flack. Like there was a Bleacher Report tweet that was like him getting ready for seventh grade first day, and I was like,
oh my god.
Like, do you guys remember how Tom Brady used to dress like before he was dating models? Like he was like Brett Favre wore Wrangler jeans. Like these guys, not everybody needs to look like Jamar Chase.
Right.
Like, have we seen Patrick Mahomes? That guy is not a fashionista either, and he's kind of chunky as well. And he's admittedly not a fit guy.
No, like, and he sounds like Kermit.
And he sounds like Kermit. Like at least Bryce, I think Bryce has gained weight in the right way, and he at least sounds like somewhat of a man.
Can I say about Bryce? And I posted this on my Twitter account, the video of it, but he has absolutely gained weight, and he has absolutely put on some muscle.
Good.
It's evident. It is evident. I mean, I even said, I was having a conversation with somebody today, and I was like, seeing him in person, obviously he's not a tall guy. He's, what is he, 5'10", 5'11", somewhere in there. Yeah. We know he's not, but he's like a regular sized adult male. Like he's not like a tiny person.
No.
Like, he's just not 6'4", 240 pounds.
Right. And when you look at massive quarterbacks, like Josh Allen is one that sticks out. But normally when you have big guys like your Brock Osweiler's, who's like 6'7", 6'8", like they don't pan out. Like they can see way over the line. Like Lamar Jackson's what, 6'1"?
6'1", yeah, maybe 6'1", 6'2".
Like he's not a massive dude either. Like he's built, like he's jacked. But I think we need, like, Bryce is 23 years old. Like I'm 38, and I think I could beat up me at 23. Like I think I'm stronger now than I was then. And like you get that dad strength.
Same here.
And, you get thicker and like upper body, and like you just get, I don't know, I feel more jacked than I was when I was 23. So like he's still a kid. What observations did you make? Let's start with Bryce. Like for his 23rd birthday, how's he looking?
Yeah, so he looked great warming up, doing just kind of some one-on-one drills. Really see, and I saw a couple people point this out on Twitter. He can put some zip on the ball, and I feel like somebody on Twitter said it looks like he's putting even more zip on the ball than last year. So he can put some zip on the ball. He can throw it. He wasn't, he didn't get picked. He got picked number 1 for a reason. I'll just say we were talking about that at training camp. But I will say, just to be, I'm the biggest Bryce Young supporter that you'll ever find.
Good. I think he needs it. I think that's our job. He's the number 1 guy. Like, you got to. Who else are you going to cheer for? We've been 100%. Cheering for, rehashes for almost 5 years now. Like,
right. Like I'm a huge Bryce supporter, and I'm always going to be glass half full with him. But I will say, just to be totally fair, when they started getting into the like the team drills today, like 7-on-7, 11-on-11, he was a bit inconsistent. He had a couple of throws where 9 times out of 10, like he could probably make that throw in his sleep that he just missed. Like there was an out route to Jonathan Mingo that it looked like Bryce. I took video of it and I put this up on my Twitter as well. Bryce kind of hitched a little bit and then threw it, and he kind of led Mingo too much, and Mingo could only get one hand on it. There were, I don't know, 3 or 4 different instances where I kind of was like, oh, Bryce, whoa, he missed that one. On the flip side, he also made a lot of like wow throws. He had a throw down the sideline. You can look this up on Twitter too. I think you can probably go on Twitter and find every single play that happened today at training camp.
Shout out to the content creators who attend these things to do that.
100%. But there was we had a Terrace Marshall Jr. sighting.
I heard about this.
Yeah, Bryce just drilled a ball down the sideline. Great anticipation on the throw on a sort of an out route to Terrace Marshall Jr. and Marshall laid out for it and came down with it. It was beautiful. So there were a few throws like that too mixed in there. But you even heard, I don't know if you got a chance to listen to it, but after the practice, Dave Canales even said in his press conference, he was like, yeah, Bryce was a little bit streaky today. Like it wasn't perfect, but hey, on to the next one. It's not going to be perfect every day.
I think real training camp, when you can actually really start taking stuff from it, is those joint practices. So that when we're up against like the Patriots coming up, like that's what I want to see, because Dionte Johnson has been hailed even by the national media, and there's very few things about the Panthers that the national media ever really highlight. But it's Dionte Johnson being arguably the best route runner in the NFL, apparently. And so, how did he look today? I know he fumbled the ball because I didn't realize it was raining, and so I get it, even though it's no excuse. But like, how did he look?
He looked fantastic, in my opinion. He excuse me. He did fumble it once. Bryce threw a great ball. Dionte caught it. He turned upfield, and I think it was Dane Jackson that punched it out. But aside from that, just kind of watching the way that he moves, how quick his feet are, how quick he gets in and out of his breaks. Like, I'll give you an example. Just that there was one drill, the wide receivers kind of went off to the side, and they were doing a little wide receiver drill. I don't know what it's called, but it's the one where they have the ropes laying down on the grass, and they're going in and out with their feet from side to side, going kind of up the ladder, and then they break out and they catch a pass.
Oh yeah.
So Dionte did it first. He went first. He went first on all the wide receiver drills because he's the number 1 guy. He's the man. He went first, and it was just like poetry in motion, and his feet are just so quick. And then right after him, they sent Adam Thielen, and the juxtaposition, just the difference between the two of them. I turned to this guy beside me. I was like, that was kind of mean. Like to make Thielen go after Dionte.
That's not that. He should go last. Just he's a vet. He doesn't be there. Like he knows he can turn on when he turns it on.
Yeah.
And so he had a couple one-on-ones. Did I see him against JC? Did he line up against JC Horn?
JC. I don't recall him lining up against JC. Or maybe he did, and he just didn't get the ball thrown his way.
Right.
But no, he had a few good catches, and then he had one where, I mean, from my vantage point, from where I was sitting, it looked like he caught it, but then he kind of bobbled it a little bit, and then he got hit by somebody, and he fell down to the ground, and the defense kind of got all riled up, and they were talking, but I was like, shit, don't hit him, don't hit our best receiver.
Yeah,
Like,
we need health. We never stay healthy, right? Well, I saw a video of someone in Chiefs training camp lay out. I think it was Xavier Worthy, and then someone Xavier Worthy or some prize wide receiver, and I don't know who else they got that's prized besides Xavier Worthy. And then Travis Kelce just came and laid the defender out, and there was a scuffle. So I'm all about fights in training camp. Get everybody on the same page. What did Derek Brown say yesterday to an interviewer? I think it was CSL. We're not the sorry ass Panthers anymore. Like, okay, get some edge. So Xavier Leggett, everyone's favorite rookie wide receiver.
Yeah.
I'm making a TikTok right now saying that if I've learned anything in this training camp, even though I'm not even there, but what I could just see from what's being told to me is that the man can back up his words. Like he said after day one, he didn't have his best practice, and it seems like today I'm seeing nonstop highlight of his one catch just mossing a corner. So how was there more than that, or like how is he in person? Number one.
Oh my God, man. He is. You were talking about Clowney earlier, and you were talking about your story about seeing Cam Newton in person. When Xavier, after practice had ended, I'll go back to how he did in practice, but I'll just say after practice ended and people were waiting for autographs, when he came out and he walked over, he had already taken his jersey off, and he's a beast. Like, that dude is a monster. Like, he is a large human. I know he's only, what is he, 6'1", 6'2".
Yeah.
He's not DK Metcalf height, but he's got that type of body. He's just a large person. And you heard, I think it was yesterday, even JC Horn, they asked JC Horn about him, and he was like, oh man, he's kind of like, he's strong. He's stronger than I thought.
I was holding on for dear life. That's what he said.
Yes.
Because that guy is strong. And
he is strong.
You don't hear JC talk that open about anybody.
No, you don't. So that's high praise from him. But no, he obviously is Leggett, however you say it. He had that one highlight catch, which I was able to get on video, and I think the Panthers ultimately posted video of it too. But man, that play in particular, Dalton just threw it up to him, and the ball seemed like it was in the air forever. And Leggett, it looked like what he did at South Carolina.
Yeah, that's what. I related to that as well. I saw that. I'm like, oh, he just transferred it like straight up.
That's what will with Leggett. Obviously, we know he's not necessarily touted as the greatest route runner ever. He's going to have to work on that part of his game, the nuances of the game. But what he will be able to do from like day one is mossing people.
Another thing I noticed in that is like how easily he just swatted away the DB's hands just from running. Like I feel like he was just running and having the DB's hand in his way.
Yeah,
the DB would get hurt. Like, ow, that hurts. Like it seems like it's almost like Deadpool Wolverine comes out today. Not sponsored. Wish I was, but it seems like playing games. He would be playing against Wolverine, like guy with adamantium bones, and it would just hurt to hit him.
Yeah,
and I saw that like before the jump. I was like, ooh, like just like him. Not even know if he knew he hit the guy's hand, but I think he did, and then it gained that extra little bit of separation. And I am thrilled. Like if I were to get a jersey, it might be a Leggett, depending on how he does. Like here, what? I think my number one right now is still be Derek Brown, because 95 fans came around 95.
Oh, I didn't think about that. That's good.
Yeah, so I think it's like a double meet here. I think he'd be my guy there, and then Xavier, seeing how he does, I think he's an absolute beast. Like who else stood up? Because you can't really say much about the defense. They are up against our wide receivers, but I think unless that's something great, like you just mentioned, Dane Jackson knocking the ball out. I did see a JC Horn pick. I think it was a pick. Emir Smith-Marset. It looks like he's going to be, I think, more important than we think. Yeah,
I think so. One last thing about Leggett, they were moving him around a lot, I will say. He was involved with, obviously, lining up at wide receiver, catching deep balls, mossing people. They had him in motion on a lot of reps. I know they're probably going to be running a lot of jet sweeps with him, things of that nature. He was with special teams at one point, practicing kickoffs, like on the return team. So we might see him as a return specialist mixed in there with, like, the Emir Smith Marsetts of the world and the Raheem Blackshears of the world. Speaking of Smith Marset, to your point, he looked fantastic to me. I think I'm probably higher on him than most people. Some people view him as just kind of a gadget guy. I think Emir Smith Marset could be a legit, like, number 3 or number 4 receiver for us.
Yeah. I think maybe last year he was a bit of like that speedster guy, like that jet sweep guy, and I thought maybe with Dionte Johnson coming, I thought maybe is a bit of redundancy there, but I think he's going to play a big part of this team, and it's going to hopefully makes everyone better. Like, just going to put Terrace Marshall on notice. I think Jonathan Mingo still has some. I think he still has some leeway. Like, it's only his second year.
Oh yeah.
How did he look, by the way? But like, I won't get to that. But yeah, I think Amir. I think he's going to be pretty. I think he's going to contribute a good amount.
Yeah. So as far as other contributors, well, Mingo, like you said, Mingo actually looked pretty good to me. I mentioned that one time he got open, but Bryce threw a bad ball and missed him. Bryce actually missed him on at least 2 separate occasions. There was another time where Mingo ran a fantastic route and got himself open, and he had like 2 or 3 yards of separation, it looked like. And Bryce tried to hit him over the middle, but threw it like way behind him. It was just a bad throw. Like the timing was obviously off on it, but Mingo was wide open. He ran a great route. So, and then I've heard, you hear Bryce Young said, and Dave Canales both said that seems like Mingo's playing with more confidence. He's playing faster. So, like, I think Mingo could also potentially surprise some people. I want to mention, I'm trying to think of somebody on the defensive side. Clowney, he had a couple nice plays. The defense, I will say the defense definitely, I would say, won the day as far as like the 7-on-7 and the 11-on-11 stuff.
Okay.
They were getting in the backfield. Bryce had to kind of evade some pressure on several occasions and did a good job with it. But there were a couple instances that definitely would have been sacks, I think. And somebody else, kind of an under the radar guy, is, I would say, DiCaprio Bootle, cornerback. He looked pretty good today. He had some good reps that I saw. And then I heard, I think somebody mentioned him. I think it was Mike Kay from the Charlotte Observer. He also mentioned today after practice that outside of J.C. Horn and the 2 presumptive starters, obviously, J.C. Horn and Dane Jackson at cornerback, DiCaprio Bootle is looking so far in the first, it's only been 2 practices, but so far he's looking like kind of like that third best cornerback. So he's kind of just somebody to watch moving forward, because it's that cornerback room, man. I don't know how you feel about it, but
my whole thing with the cornerback room was like everyone's job is up for grabs, minus J.C. Horn. The only thing that guy needs to do is stay healthy. That's it. He stays healthy. It's up to you guys to try to get that second spot. And I've said in my previous episode, it was about if I want the Panthers to try to get Brandon Ayuk, like should the Panthers do that? And I'm like, absolutely not. Like, I don't think we're in that stage. I think next draft, depending on how high we pick, I think the defense deserves some love. Like, I know they picked up some guys who are aligned with the Giro Evero and have had their best seasons for him, whether it's with the Rams or the Broncos. But I think the defense needs some blue chip guys, and whether it's on the defensive end line, because they're bringing in guys right now, like including some former Panthers. Marquise Hayes, I think, is in the building. Yannick Ngakoue. So like they know, like they need some reinforcements on the defense, especially on the edge. And in corner, like if you can get like a blue chip corner, whether it's in the top 10 of the draft next year or whatever, like I would not, because that's what the 49ers would want. And the last thing I need is for them to get our pick next year, depending on how well we do. I hope to God that we're not picking the top 10, that means we're doing all right. Like we make
Right.
that'd be insane progress. But
Absolutely.
if we want to be real, it could be top 10 again. And I don't want to lose that. And I think the defense deserves some blue chip guys, whether it's on the defensive line or in the defensive backfield. Personally, just for jersey purposes, I'd love for them to draft Harold Perkins out of LSU, the linebacker. He's like, to me, I think he could be a serious threat. He could be one of those like hybrid guys. I also think our linebacker core is getting a little bit older, and I don't know if Josie Jewell will be here forever. Harold Perkins, I think it'd be great.
Now, how much of your choice of Harold Perkins, like percentage wise, has to do with his name?
Massive. It's like 56%. 56%, but also he's good. Like I've seen several mock drafts, and he's a top 15 pick. That's great. Okay, well, Ben, I appreciate you.
Yeah, man.
Go to sleep to your family.